Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Jefferson Scott. What's happening in Birmingham? Today I have the honor and pleasure of being with Representative Rod Scott. He is running for Jefferson County Treasurer on next Tuesday, Democratic runoff election. Representative Scott, thanks for coming on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's an honor to be here, Jarvis.
Great. We're right around the corner. Tuesday, July 14th. Got to go back out to the polls again. So tell the voters, for people who have never seen you or heard you in the State House, just tell the voters a little bit about yourself, first off, and get into everything else.
Well, first off, I like to tell the people that I'm a son of the Civil Rights Movement. Without the activity of the 60s, I never would have been able to take advantage of the opportunities that I've had. I have a Yale economics degree. Specialty is econometrics. Of course, understanding the Federal Reserve Bank is primary to understanding economics. And in addition to the economics degree, I have a master's in business administration from Dartmouth College. And my degree is in general management, but my focus was the finances.
Okay, so right now, as you taking this office, let's kind of give a little backstory. The county is coming out of bankruptcy, financial crisis of its own. We're in the middle of a pandemic crisis. Why should voters choose you now that you're saying, the experience you had and things like that?
Well, first let me say that the responsibility of the treasurer is very simple. Mm-hmm. The funds that are collected by the county are then deposited into banks. And then all the county bills are paid from those bank accounts. And there's a small amount of money that is invested. The amount of money will run anywhere from probably $650 million to about $750 million. But as you know, that is the functional part of the job. The influence piece has to do with the knowledge base that you have that will allow you to get into what we call the debt structure of the county or other cities within Jefferson County. And besides the debt structure, it allows us to look at any federal laws that are associated with the banking system that have been established, like the Community Reinvestment Act.
All right, tell me a little more about that real quick.
The Community Reinvestment Act is simple. We grew up during a period where there was redlining. Mm-hmm. Redlining means that there are essentially areas that never received the benefits from companies that were actually extracting money and therefore profits from those areas. Okay. So the bank actually are getting deposits from poor areas throughout the country and throughout the state of Alabama. Those deposits are used by the banks to make loans, which allow them to make money. So in dealing with the Community Reinvestment Act, what we're actually looking at is the opportunity for banks to put funds back into those areas and develop those areas the way that they should be.
I know one thing that's really been in the news lately, the urge to, for diversity. And if you get elected to this position, how can you influence diversity, or how we talking about funds as far as donating to minority banks in town?
Well, diversity is a very interesting question. Okay. And if you look at the history of diversity, we've had a lot of African Americans that have been hired into corporate America. However, if we were to go to those corporations and then have them delineate where the African Americans are hired, they still will be at the lower end of the hiring spectrum. Mm-hmm. And in addition to being at the lower end, most of them are hired into what I call positions like governmental affairs, human resources, or personnel related issues, more so than the operational piece. And I've worked in corporate America for decades. I worked for IBM selling mainframe computers. I worked for Cigna with all my securities license and insurance licenses, transferring wealth from a person's business to that individual. And I've also worked doing strategic planning and budgeting for a $3 billion insurance company. So I understand very well the functionality that goes on within organizations and how they perform.
Well, let's go back to your experience. You know, when I first started, I said Representative Rod Scott. So
Yeah.
tell people a little bit more about, for those who don't know that you're actually in the State House right now.
Well, after I did my corporate career, I decided that I wanted to come home and be a state representative here in Alabama. So I've served for 14 years. During that time period, I've been able to do a tremendous amount. I've done over 40 bills at the State House. And just to give you an example of the committees that I serve on the Education Ways and Means Committee, which essentially is a $7.5 billion disbursement committee to education. In addition to serving on the Education Ways and Means Committee, I serve on the Education Policy. So I understand government, and I understand that the limitations associated with government. I've been appointed to boards. I'm on the Alabama Commission for Higher Education, which is the 2-year, 4-year college board, manages about, let's say, $55 million. I'm also on the Ingram State Technical College Board. I've served on all kinds of commissions, but before I leave that, the Ingram State Technical College Board is a 2-year prison college system board. So Alabama is one of the few states that has a 2-year college within the prison system, so people can be trained. So other commissions that I've served on the Historic Tax Credit Commission, which is the committee or commission that allows for, let's say, millions of dollars to be reinvested in historic buildings, and that's why you see such great movement within downtown Birmingham. I mean, I could go on with the opportunities that have been given me to see how boards and commissions work within the state of Alabama, but you know, that could be another conversation.
All right, so how has COVID-19 affected, like as far as, you know, you have campaigning, how has that changed the landscape you want, you know, talking to voters?
Well, it certainly has impacted campaigning. But before I go there, it's impacted government tremendously because it's impacted the economy. There has been less tax revenue received by the state, less tax revenue received by the county, less tax revenue received by the cities. So it's crucial that we understand that the pandemic has tremendous impact economically on our economy. But besides that type of impact on campaigning, quite frankly, it's very difficult to go to someone's house during this time period when we're practicing social distancing. For example, I have my mask out right now, but you have your mask on, which is appropriate. Mm-hmm. And it's very important for you to have your mask on because the mask actually protects you from me. So.
Well, let me go back for a minute because I want to make sure voters, you know a lot about, you know, experience and things you did in the State House. So some of the bills you've done have been the drug court, the land bank, historic tax credits. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Kind of briefly, you know, what you do, but you know, people fully know what you've done, you know.
Well, we know how important the 3 strikes you out bill. I mean, 3 strikes you out violation is to people in our community.
Okay.
So drug courts allows the judges to ease up on those restraints that are given to African Americans that may be experiencing some activity because of drug associated or related, I should say, challenges in their life. The land bank really allows the city of Birmingham to sell lands that are vacant today. Okay. And that's very crucial for taking lands off the tax rolls and putting them back on the tax rolls, but providing the opportunity for people to buy housing and renovate those housing and move into it. So that is a very crucial bill. And I think you mentioned the tax credit bill. Was that the other one? The tax credit bill has just led to economic development in downtown Birmingham because, you know, we had a lot of vacant older buildings. And if you drive through now, there's finally some activity in renovating those buildings. So that's been a tremendous economic boom for the city of Birmingham.
So Tuesday, July 14th, why should voters choose you? There's two of y'all in the race, but why should voters choose you specifically?
Well, I have the education. I have the training from corporate jobs that I've taken. I have the training from governmental jobs that I've taken and I should say my legislative responsibility, which entails a lot of training. I've had academic training because I've worked at Miles College teaching students economics, microeconomics and macroeconomics. And that's very important because I wanted to share with people that look like me an understanding of economics so that it could potentially change their thought process on how things actually get done. The relationships that I've been able to establish and the things that I know about government and how important it is to use your influence to get things done. And it's not necessarily doing absolutely the work of the treasurer, but the potential influence that can be had on people in our county so that we can change the trajectory of our county and we can become the business center that we should be, that we missed in the 1960s from the advancement of Atlanta. In Atlanta, essentially taking the airport, the baseball park, Six Flags, which put them on a different economic trajectory for that state, or the state of Georgia.
Okay, so if somebody needs a ride to the polls, I always like to ask that. You got a phone number for them?
Yes, I do. I have a phone number, but let me just mention before that the importance of really getting people to change the way that they think about their lives economically and being able to transfer that information to them through ideas of financial literacy and them being able to manage their credit so that they can buy the things that need to be bought with less stress associated in their lives. But there is a phone number for the individuals or voters that need rides, and that number is 5.
What's that thing? Oh, 598. There you go.
Yeah.
566.
598-7566.
Okay. Well,
Is that it?
Well, I got 3566.
3566.
Okay. We'll let y'all. Well, it'll be on the screen anyway, y'all, so y'all know how I always do it. But the candidates say out there, I got print down the middle. So.
Hey, you know, since the advent of cell phones, who remembers phone numbers?
Yeah. So, Representative Scott, thank you for coming on today. You know, voters, please come out. I know a lot of y'all probably thinking like, well, it's the runoff, but you have to understand if you don't vote, you don't have a voice, you don't have a say. So let's get out and vote, you all. It's on the 14th, and Representative Scott, thank you for coming on today.
Yes.
And please check out what'shappenbirmingham.com for more videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank y'all again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website, app, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.